The other day, I almost boiled to death by having the heat turned up all the way in the car to keep my pizza from getting cold, so I may not be the best person to take survival tips from. Hey, what's up guys? So now that it's the middle of August, the countdown to school is on. And coincidentally, this is also the same countdown towards sleepless nights spent crying because you're so stressed, tired, and broke from university. And if your life is a mess like mine, you're probably going to need some tips to survive your first year of post-secondary education. So from one mess of a human being to another, here are some tips to survive your first year at university. If you go onto your school's website, you can find out a lot of things that you can actually pick up before your classes even start. If you're like me and you hate big crowds and long lines and you can't stand those people who talk incredibly loud so that every single person around them can hear about how great their summer was, then finding out what you can get done before school starts to avoid those things is one of the best tips I can give you. My school, and every school pretty much nowadays, has student ID cards with your photo on them that you take when you go into an exam to prove that yes, you are the one writing your own exam because none of your friends were nice enough to offer to write your exam for you. This is probably because you don't have any friends, and that is okay, because most of us don't. So basically what happens is you go to school, you stand in an incredibly long line to get your picture taken, which lasts all of about 2 seconds, and then they hand you a student ID card. But if your school is like mine, you can actually send a photo in online that you take on your phone, as long as it passes all the guidelines and everything like that, and they will make your student ID card and call you when it's ready so you can avoid all the long lines of people who decide to do it on the first week of classes, and it's great. Not waiting in these long lines means you can go home and take a nap because God knows you will not get any sleep once you start actually being a student. Tip number 2. If you know people from your high school that you don't completely hate are going to the same university as you, I would highly suggest trying to find some option courses to take with them, or see if you can find someone that's kind of in a program that's like yours where you can take the same classes. You will miss classes. Trust me, not only are you bound to get sick from lack of nutritious food, because, sorry to burst your bubble, but living off KD isn't going to keep you healthy for a whole year. But you're also going to have days where you just do not feel like going to classes. You may be lucky and have a professor who posts all of their slides online, but most of them, believe it or not, are very smart and decide not to do this to force you to come to each and every one of their classes. But if you already know somebody in your class from high school, it makes it really easy to rely on them for notes. If you don't have anyone that you know from high school in your classes, I am sorry, internet, I know you do not want to, but you are going to have to interact with the outside real world and make some friends. And even though it can be difficult and a little overwhelming to make friends in a 400 plus person class, it is possible. If you can make 1 or 2 friends to rely on, then you are set for the semester. Because trust me, nobody likes the person that sends out a mass email right before a midterm and says, "My computer hard drive crashed, so can someone send me all the notes from the beginning of the semester?" Seriously, don't be that guy. And worst comes to absolute worst, if you cannot make friends and you really do need to send out that mass email, bribe the students. If you send out an email saying that you will provide somebody with food or money for giving you notes, they will send you the notes so fast it's ridiculous. University students will do anything for food or money. Anything. Tip number 3. If you can't seem to get your life together like myself, then I would suggest investing in a planner. And unlike myself, pay attention to the year on the planner that you buy. I bought this one for fall of 2015, only to find out that this was one of those planners that didn't actually start until January 2016, so I couldn't use it for the first half of the year. Regardless of standing there for 20 minutes and trying to make a decision based off which planner was the prettiest, I still made the wrong choice. Don't be like me. Planners are a great way to keep track of all of your exams and assignments and all the nights that you plan to go out and drink away all of the money that you actually really don't have because you've spent all of your money on your tuition and textbooks. But hey, oh well. Planners are also a good way to make you feel like you're actually being productive with your life when really you're writing what you should be doing in your planner instead of actually writing that paper that's due tomorrow. Tip number 4. Find a quiet place on campus that's good for studying, or if you're like me, a good place to take naps. Some universities have quiet rooms that you can actually book so that you can get some work done. Or you can use that time that you booked in that room to read all of those stupid BuzzFeed articles that you told yourself that you were going to stop reading, but somehow even the worst of those articles entertain you because you just have a sad, boring life. But seriously, these rooms are a great idea for when you have to spend 8 hours straight writing a 10-page paper the night before it's due when you had 2 weeks to do it, and instead you decide to binge watch Stranger Things on Netflix. Seriously, why is procrastination so hard to stop doing? Tip number 5. Do not leave your stuff unattended at school. This one is so stupidly obvious that I can't even believe that I have to say it. People at my school will leave everything that they own, including their expensive laptops, sitting at a library table for long periods of time while they just leave. And like, I get it if you leave for like 2 minutes to go grab a book, but some of these people literally leave for over an hour to go to one of their classes and they don't want to lose their table, so they leave all of the stuff that they own on the table. And then people have the audacity to get angry and complain when their stuff has been stolen. Like, what the hell did you expect to happen? If you were smart enough to get accepted into university, why don't you have enough common sense not to leave your things lying around unattended in a busy place? Seriously, you are going to a school with people who are broke as hell from paying their tuition, and they will gladly take your laptop and sell it on Kijiji just so that they can have some actual money for once. Just take your shit with you. I know you will lose your table, but like, would you rather lose your table or lose your laptop? Come on. Tip number 6. Do not buy the textbooks for your classes right away. Some teachers put a textbook in the class outline, but they will never ever use it. I literally have 2 textbooks from my last semester that are still in their plastic wrapping because I did not open them once. This is because my teacher decided to put all the readings up on a website where we could see them instead, so I really didn't need the textbook. A good way to tell if you will need the textbook is to check Rate My Prof, because a lot of people will let you know whether or not the prof likes to use textbooks or not. Or generally, if you kind of do like the first couple weeks of classes, you can usually figure out whether or not you're going to be needing a textbook, because they'll tell you whether or not your assignment comes straight from it or whether there's really important readings you need, and then you'll be able to find out whether or not they post the readings online or if you actually have to read the textbook. And by the way, if you buy a textbook that you never end up using, that you are spending over like $150 for, if you try to sell it back to your university bookstore, they might, if you're lucky, give you $10 for it. $10. That $10 is going to a chicken McNugget meal from McDonald's that I can drown my sorrows in of being so broke over a textbook that I never even goddamn use. Seriously, do not buy the textbook. And if you do have to buy the textbook, most universities will have a Facebook page where you can resell your textbook to students that are taking it next semester or even the year after, and you can get more than $10 out of it. Usually you can sell these books for like maybe $50 or so, which is just a lot better than $10, and that's like 5 chicken McNugget meals that you can drown your broke ass sorrows in. Anyways, that's all the tips that I have for now. If you guys want to see another video where I give some more university tips, I definitely have a lot more that I could give. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that you have a really good year at university. Join clubs, go to activities, do a lot of things, get involved, have fun. You're going to be in university for the next couple years, and you might as well enjoy it before you have to go and get a real job and hate your life every single day. So anyways, I gotta get going, but I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Subscribe down below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!